Hey everyone, and welcome to the Deep Dive. Wellness is always a hot topic, right? And today we're taking a deep dive into something that's really changing the game, virtual health coaching.
Definitely a hot topic.
We've got two great sources for this one.
Okay.
A blog article from Art of Healthy Living and an infographic from Maryville University. Ready to jump in?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
I think it's safe to say we all have some idea of what virtual health coaching is, using tech for health and wellness.
Yeah.
But let's break it down. What exactly is it? Like in practice, what does it look like?
Well, I think a good way to think about it is, imagine connecting with a health coach through video calls, getting personalized plans, delivered right to you through apps.
Okay.
Even joining support groups in online forums.
Oh, wow.
That's what it is, essentially harnessing all these digital tools to provide that support regardless of where you are.
So it's more than just like swapping in-person appointments for video chats.
Right.
It's a whole system, huh?
Yeah, it's an entire ecosystem. And our infographic here,
Okay.
it really dives into the key components.
Okay.
So even just starting with those digital platforms, it's not just a simple video conference thing, right?
Right.
They integrate scheduling and reminders, progress tracking.
Oh, wow.
You can even connect it with your wearable tech.
That's so cool. So you mentioned AI, and the infographic mentions these personalization algorithms.
Yeah.
What's that all about? Is it like the algorithm designs your whole wellness plan for you?
Some platforms actually do.
Wow.
Utilize AI to tailor plans based on your specific data. So that can be your activity level, sleep patterns, dietary preferences even.
Interesting.
But it's not about replacing human interaction.
Okay, good.
AI is just this powerful tool
Gotcha.
to personalize it.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. It's like enhances it, doesn't replace.
Exactly.
Now, there's also this idea of interactive content. What does that look like?
Yeah, so you're talking things like video tutorials,
Okay.
quizzes, even interactive meal planning tools.
Wow.
Make learning about your health more engaging, maybe even fun.
Right. That actually sounds kind of fun.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about community support. The infographic highlights that too.
Yeah.
It seems like that could be pretty powerful, right?
Absolutely. Fostering a sense of belonging, shared accountability.
Yeah.
Huge for motivation. Having a community can really make a difference.
Yeah, like a built-in cheer squad.
Yeah,
right?
totally.
Okay, so we've got a good picture of what it is now. But who's it really for?
Yeah.
Who benefits the most?
Right. Well, virtual health coaching can benefit a lot of people. But our sources point out a few groups who really seem to thrive.
Okay.
Like busy professionals.
Yeah.
They struggle to fit those traditional appointments in.
Right? Can't make time.
But with virtual, it's easy to fit into a hectic schedule. No more commuting, no rigid appointment times.
Yeah, that's a total game changer.
Huge.
What about people who live in remote areas or have mobility challenges?
Oh, absolutely.
It seems like it could be, really helpful.
Yeah, for them it can be a lifeline. Virtual coaching removes all those geographical barriers, right? So people in rural communities or folks who have difficulty leaving home, they can still get top-notch guidance.
Really democratizes access.
Exactly.
So it's convenient, personalized, accessible, but is it really effective? Can it really compare to actually sitting down with a health professional?
That's the big question, right? But actually, a lot of studies show that it can be just as effective,
Right.
especially when we're talking about chronic disease management and lifestyle changes.
I would have thought that in-person was, key to building that rapport and trust.
Yeah, and in-person does have advantages. But, the key to success in both formats is consistency, how well you communicate.
Yeah.
Individual commitment and a strong relationship between coach and client. The platforms and tech are just tools.
They just make it happen.
Right, it's the human connection that drives the change.
So you really need both. Tech and the human element.
Yeah.
Speaking of the human element, Poppy Robinson, she's the author of our blog article. She really emphasizes that. This human element in our digital age.
It's so important.
So what does she mean by that? Why is it so crucial?
She's really hitting on the fact that even though technology is central to virtual coaching, it's the human connection between coach and client that makes the difference.
So it's not just about how fancy the tech is.
All right, it's about the relationship.
The relationship.
Finding a coach who understands you, celebrates your successes, supports you through setbacks.
Yeah.
Feeling truly seen, even through a screen.
That makes me think about the importance of empathy.
Definitely.
And really listening in any coaching relationship.
Absolutely.
So how do these virtual coaches cultivate those qualities when they're, online?
It takes a conscious effort to make a space for open communication.
Yeah.
Skilled virtual coaches use all sorts of techniques, video conferencing, messaging, even voice notes, to convey warmth and empathy.
So it's about using the tech to boost those human qualities, not to replace them.
Exactly.
It's interesting. Okay, I think I'm starting to really see how this works.
Yeah.
But what about the quality of the coaching itself? Can virtual coaches really offer the same level of expertise and guidance as someone you see face-to-face?
That's where qualifications and credentials are key.
Yeah.
Just like traditional health coaches, virtual coaches should have the education, training, and certifications. Do your research, choose someone qualified.
So it's not just about finding someone who knows how to use Zoom.
Exactly.
It's about finding someone who knows health and wellness.
Right. It's about the expertise.
Expertise, right. And what about the cost? Is it more expensive or less expensive than traditional coaching?
It can really vary, depending on the coach's experience, length and frequency of sessions, what platform they're using.
Right.
But generally, virtual coaching is more affordable.
Makes sense.
Fewer overhead costs. Plus, a lot of platforms offer different pricing options like subscriptions or package deals.
Makes it more accessible.
It does.
So we've covered the basics of what it is, who it's for, how it works. Now, I want to go a little deeper into the human side of things.
Okay.
Going back to Poppy Robinson.
Yeah.
She emphasizes that human element
Right.
in our digital age. What does that mean? Why is it so important?
Well, she's highlighting that even though technology is central here, is that human connection between coach and client that truly makes the difference.
So it's not about the fancy technology. It's about the relationship.
Yeah. It's about finding a coach who really gets you, understands your challenges,
celebrates your successes.
Exactly, and supports you through setbacks. It's about feeling truly seen and heard even through a screen.
That makes me think about empathy and active listening,
Absolutely.
How do virtual coaches cultivate those qualities in this online world?
It's about creating a safe and supportive space.
Okay.
Where people can communicate openly. Skilled coaches will use video conferencing, messaging, even voice notes to convey warmth, empathy, and build that genuine connection.
So it's about using the tech to enhance those qualities, not replace them.
Exactly.
I'm starting to see the nuances here. But I have to ask, doesn't something get lost when you're not physically present with someone?
That's a valid point.
There's something about being in the same room.
Yeah, there are definitely aspects of in-person interaction that haven't been fully replicated online.
Okay.
Things like, picking up on those subtle nonverbal cues. Or that feeling of connection you get from, like, a handshake.
Yeah.
Or a pat on the back.
But what about those moments of laughter? Or, those spontaneous conversations?
Yeah.
Do those even happen online?
They absolutely can. A good virtual coach knows how to create a comfortable and relaxed atmosphere where those moments can emerge.
So it's not about trying to, perfectly recreate in-person interactions.
Right.
It's about adapting those qualities to a digital space.
Exactly. And as technology gets even better, I think we can expect even more innovations that blur those lines even further.
Okay, so we've established that it's a viable and effective approach to wellness, even though it's online.
Right.
But what about the potential downsides? Are there any risks? Anything we should watch out for?
Yeah, it's a good question to think about. Like any health thing, it has potential drawbacks. One is privacy breaches.
Oh, right, with all this data online.
Exactly. It's crucial to choose platforms and coaches who take that seriously.
So look for things like certifications and policies.
Yeah, make sure they're committed to protecting your information.
Don't be afraid to ask about it.
Absolutely.
What about the technology itself? What if there's a glitch during a session? Or you lose your internet connection?
That's something to think about too.
It could be frustrating, especially if you're in the middle of sharing something important.
Right, so it's good to have a backup plan. A good virtual coach will have protocols for dealing with those things.
Like rescheduling or switching to a phone call.
Exactly.
It's about being prepared.
Right. And I think it's worth saying, while it offers a lot of benefits, it's not a substitute for traditional medical care.
Right, it's not a replacement.
Right, it's a complementary approach. It works alongside traditional healthcare.
Finding that balance.
Exactly.
This has been really insightful. We've covered a lot, from the definition to the human element to the potential downsides. But before we move on to the future, I want to pause and connect with you, our listener.
That's good.
We've talked about those different groups who can benefit, but we want to hear from you. Which category do you fit in?
Yeah, are you a busy professional?
Juggling a million things.
Do you live in a remote area? Or maybe you're just intrigued by, the possibilities here.
We're curious. How do you see virtual health coaching fitting into your life?
How might it address your needs and goals?
So think about your own wellness journey. What are your biggest challenges? What are you hoping to achieve? How could this help you?
We'll be back in a moment to explore the exciting future of virtual health coaching. But for now, think about how it might apply to you.
We'll be right back.
So, where were we? Oh yeah, thinking about how virtual health coaching might fit into your life.
Right, and now we're going to shift gears a bit and look ahead.
Okay.
What's on the horizon for virtual health coaching? The Maryville infographic actually gives us some clues.
Yeah, it does. It highlights some pretty cool trends.
Okay, so like what kind of trends are we talking about?
Well, one that really stands out is this emphasis on motivational interviewing.
Motivational interviewing, what's that?
Yeah, so it's this approach that moves away from just giving advice.
Okay.
It helps clients find their own reasons for wanting to change.
So instead of saying, you need to exercise more, it's more about guiding the client to uncover their own motivation.
Exactly. It's about helping them connect with their why.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Can you give me an example?
Sure. Imagine you're working with a coach and you want to improve your sleep habits. Instead of just saying, go to bed earlier, a motivational interviewer might ask, what are some of the things that are preventing you from getting enough sleep?
Okay.
How would getting more rest impact your daily life?
So it's about getting to the root of the issue.
Exactly. And then when people find their own reasons for change, they're much more likely to actually do it.
I can see that. That makes a lot of sense. The infographic also mentions positive psychology.
Yes.
Now, I've heard that term, but what is it exactly?
So positive psychology is this branch of psychology that focuses on what makes people thrive, not just fixing what's wrong.
Oh, interesting.
So in coaching, it's about building on the client's strengths.
Not just focusing on the negatives.
Right.
Okay, it's like a more holistic approach.
Yeah, it's about helping clients cultivate positive emotions, build resilience, and develop a sense of purpose.
That sounds great. Now, the infographic also mentions group health coaching.
Yeah, that's becoming more and more popular.
So what's the appeal there?
Well, it offers a sense of community.
Okay.
You've got that shared accountability, which can be really motivating.
Right, like a support system.
Exactly. Plus, it tends to be more affordable.
Oh, that's great. So how does it work? Is it like a big Zoom call with everyone?
It can vary, depending on the platform.
Yeah.
Some groups meet weekly via video conference.
Okay.
Others might mainly interact through forums or messaging apps.
So a mix of like live and not live.
Yeah, a combination.
Cool. Now, we can't talk about the future without talking about the technology, right?
Of course not.
The infographic highlights the development of all these new apps and platforms.
Yeah, technology is constantly evolving.
Right. So what can we expect to see in the future?
I think we'll see things like advanced data analytics, personalized insights based on your health data, and wearable technology that integrates with coaching platforms.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. But with all that data being collected, what about privacy?
That's a really important point. As we rely more on technology, we have to prioritize data security and ethical considerations.
Absolutely. So look for platforms that are HIPAA compliant and have clear privacy policies.
Exactly. You have the right to control your own data, so don't be afraid to ask questions.
That's good advice. Now, the infographic also mentions virtual health coaching in corporate wellness programs.
Yeah, that's becoming a trend.
What are the benefits there?
Well, for employees, it means having access to personalized coaching
Right
in their workplace.
to help manage stress, sleep better, make healthier choices.
Exactly. And for companies, it's a smart investment.
Okay.
Healthier employees are more productive, more engaged. It can even lower healthcare costs.
It's a win-win.
Yeah.
This is really making me think about how virtual health coaching could change healthcare as a whole.
It's not just about individual change, it's a potential system-wide shift.
Yeah, we could move towards a more preventative and holistic approach.
Exactly. Instead of waiting until we're sick, we can proactively invest in our well-being.
With the support of a virtual coach.
Right.
That's a powerful thought. What other trends or innovations are you most excited about?
I'm really fascinated by virtual reality.
VR. How would that work for coaching?
Well, imagine attending a group coaching session where you feel like you're actually in the same room with everyone.
Oh, wow.
Or practicing mindfulness techniques in a serene virtual environment.
That sounds amazing.
The possibilities are endless. VR could completely change how we approach health education and behavior change.
That's incredible. The blog article also talks about continued education opportunities for health coaches.
Oh, yeah, that's important. As the field evolves, coaches need to stay up to date.
What kind of knowledge and skills will be essential for coaches in the future?
Well, I think we'll see a growing demand for coaches who specialize in certain areas, like nutrition or stress management.
So, becoming experts in their niche.
Exactly. And they'll need to be comfortable with technology.
Right, because technology is always changing.
Exactly. Continued education will be key.
So it's about adapting and evolving to meet the needs of clients in this digital age.
Exactly. That's what makes this feel so exciting. There's so much innovation and potential.
It's like we're witnessing the birth of a whole new industry.
It really is. And with the right combination of expertise, technology, and human connection, the possibilities are limitless.
Well said. So we've explored the what, the why, and the how of virtual health coaching. We talked about its potential to revolutionize wellness.
We've covered a lot of ground.
We have. But what stands out to you? What's the most intriguing aspect of this whole conversation?
What fascinates me the most is how virtual health coaching is not just about putting health services online.
Okay.
It's really a fundamental shift in how we view and prioritize our health.
It's about reimagining the entire landscape of wellness.
Exactly. And as technology advances and people become more focused on their health, virtual health coaching is becoming more and more important.
It's happening right now.
It is. And embracing it means taking a more personalized, dynamic path to well-being.
Well said.
Yeah.
But even with all this incredible information, there's one question I still have.
Oh, what's that?
The blog article mentions several trends, but there's one we haven't really talked about.
Which one is that?
It's the rise of continued education for health coaches.
Ah, yes. That's an important one. The infographic even mentions coaches getting training on things like setting up a remote office, how to structure online sessions, even creating digital courses.
So what kind of specialized knowledge and skills will be essential for virtual coaches in the future?
That's a great question. I think we'll see a need for coaches who are not only experts in health and wellness, but who are also great with technology.
It's like a whole new skill set.
It is. We might even see specialized certifications for virtual health coaches.
Yeah, that makes sense. And with technology always changing, they need to stay up to date.
Definitely. Continued education is key.
It's all about adapting and evolving.
Exactly.
This whole deep dive has been really eye-opening. It's amazing to see how virtual health coaching is changing the game.
It has been an interesting conversation.
But as always, there's so much more to explore. So here's something to think about as you continue your own wellness journey.
I'm listening.
The blog article mentions that one of the challenges of virtual coaching is replicating those physical assessments.
Right.
But what if technology could solve that?
Okay, I like where this is going.
Imagine a world where virtual coaches could use like sensors or AI to assess your physical health remotely.
Wow, that's a really cool idea. It would be like a virtual physical exam.
Exactly. Think about how helpful that would be for people in remote areas.
Or people who can't easily get to a doctor.
Exactly.
It could change everything for preventative care and early detection.
It really is mind-boggling. And with technology moving so fast, it might not be that far off.
That's what's so exciting about the future of virtual health coaching.
There's so much potential.
There is.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I encourage you to keep exploring, keep learning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
The future of personalized well-being is in your hands.
Beautifully said. And with that, we'll say goodbye for now. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of virtual health coaching.
It's been a pleasure.
You know, we've covered so much about what virtual health coaching is and how it works. But I think what's really striking is how it's changing the whole game for personalized wellness.
Totally. I think it's easy to get caught up in the tech side of things, but at the end of the day, it's about people.
Right. Empowering people to take charge of their own health and wellness.
And making those resources accessible to everyone.
That's what I love about it. It's not just for the privileged few. It has the potential to really level the playing field.
Exactly. And as we talked about earlier, the field itself is constantly evolving.
Yeah, the continued education piece.
Right. Coaches need to stay ahead of the curve. But beyond the tech skills, what other expertise do you think will be important for coaches moving forward?
That's a good question. It makes me think about how specialized other areas of healthcare become.
Yeah, like cardiology or dermatology.
Right. So maybe we'll see more coaches specializing in specific areas of wellness.
I could definitely see that happening. Like, you might have coaches who focus on nutrition, stress management, sleep.
Chronic disease management.
Exactly, offering that really targeted guidance.
I like that. And maybe even combining different approaches.
Oh, absolutely. I think that's going to be huge. Like, a coach who specializes in stress management might also integrate things like mindfulness or yoga into their practice.
It's about seeing the whole person,
Yeah.
right? Not just treating symptoms in isolation.
Definitely, a holistic approach.
Now, thinking about the global reach of virtual health coaching, cultural competency is going to be really important too.
That's a crucial point. As coaches work with people from all different backgrounds, they need to be sensitive to those cultural differences.
It's about understanding how those differences can impact health beliefs and behaviors.
Exactly, and adapting your approach accordingly. It's not just about the tech skills, it's about having those people skills too.
So true. Now, I want to touch on something we discussed earlier.
Sure, what's up?
The challenge of doing physical assessments in a virtual setting. We talked about sensors and wearables, but what other possibilities are out there?
That's interesting. I think AI could play a big role there.
Okay, how so?
Imagine AI-powered tools that can analyze things like your voice patterns or facial expressions to detect early signs of stress or even nutritional deficiencies.
That's wild. Is that even possible?
It's closer than you think. AI is already being used to analyze medical images and personalize treatments.
So it's not a stretch to think it could be used for virtual health coaching.
Exactly. But of course, we have to make sure it's used ethically.
Right, we can't just throw technology at a problem without considering the implications.
Definitely. We need to prioritize data privacy, address potential biases, and always remember that human connection is key.
Well said. This has been a really incredible deep dive. I'm so excited about the future of virtual health coaching.
Me too. It's clear that we're just scratching the surface of what's possible.
And what's most exciting is that it has the potential to truly transform how we approach health and well-being.
I completely agree. It's about creating a world where everyone has the opportunity to thrive.
So as we wrap things up, I just want to encourage our listeners to stay curious, embrace new possibilities, and never underestimate the power of that human connection.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of virtual health coaching.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, stay well, everyone.